Good morning everybody and welcome to Will on Safety and another Toolbox Talk Tuesday. In today's Toolbox Talk we're going to discuss the subject of housekeeping. Housekeeping is one of those subjects where, it doesn't matter what industry, what workplace you visit or do a safety walk round around it, it always comes up. There's so many excuses for poor housekeeping. Honestly, folks, I've heard them all. We haven't got enough space. The stock, we operate a just-in-time system. The stock's not there permanently. There's nowhere else to store it. I've heard them all. But there really is no excuse for poor housekeeping. The importance of good housekeeping, it's just not a joke to anybody that wants to avoid hazards presented by sloppy habits. And the fact of the matter is, if you have a look at the majority, of slips, trips, falls, and accidents like that, housekeeping plays a part. In addition to encouraging poor attitudes to safety, poor housekeeping can also lead to the following things. So slips, from slick or wet floors, platforms or other walking or working surfaces. Slips, trips, falls are a massive issue. You've got trips from objects or materials. This is the bit of housekeeping that I probably see the most, and they're the most frequent housekeeping associated issues, I would say, at trips, with raw materials maybe being stored in walkways. People have to walk around, stored product or raw materials. There might be trailing cables. These are all things that we shouldn't really come in contact with, in a well-defined place of work with good housekeeping. But unfortunately, day in, day out, they're the types of things we see. You've got falls from holes, so you could have little potholes on walkways, on vehicular routes. You might have different levels. It just makes falls a lot easier to happen. Uneven flooring, uncovered pits and drains, boxes and pallets, being used instead of adequate platforms, so the chance of falls are increased. And collisions. Obviously, if we are blocking walkways, especially if they are pedestrian walkways, all that's going to lead to is pedestrians having to walk off those safe pedestrian walkways into vehicular traffic routes. That then, increases the likelihood of an interaction, of a person interacting with a vehicle. And that's just something that we don't want to see. If that does happen, the consequence of such an accident like that, worst case scenario, could lead to a fatality. But on the flip side, if we do concentrate on housekeeping, if we do make it a priority in the workplace, it can lead to eliminating accidents and fire causes. And if we are unfortunate to have a fire, it's super important to be able to get to your firefighting equipment. If it's all blocked with poor housekeeping, it's just going to escalate the situation, lead to more lost stock, potentially lead to a full loss of facility. We don't want to see that. But good housekeeping can eliminate accidents and fire causes. Next then, it can save energy by eliminating the need to walk around congested areas or work around congested areas. It uses excess materials stored in the work area. We shouldn't see excess stored materials in the work area. If there is excess materials, let's get rid of it. Let's just order it when we need it. If it doesn't need to be there, then it shouldn't be there. It's just creating or taking up more space than it needs to. So we don't want to see that. Also, obsolete kit and equipment. I've seen that. What are we holding it for? Oh, I've no idea. It's just been there for the last year or two. If we don't need it, let's get rid of it. Make the best use of space and allow for cost-effective or just-in-time inventory management. All right. If you run a just-in-time policy, that's really good. What do we mean by just-in-time? Well, as we're getting raw materials in, as they're going through the processes, there should just be another load of raw materials arriving, rather than holding, excess stock. So good housekeeping will enable us to run that sort of inventory platform. It helps control property damage. Goes without saying, if there is kit and equipment, raw material, finished goods, all that type of stuff, just stacked and stored everywhere, there's increased chance of forklifts coming into contact with it, damaging raw material, but more importantly finished goods, and then we have to start the whole process again. We've just lost what we're trying to get rid of. So it helps control property damage, and it should see a reduction if things, if everything has a place, if we use good 6S, 5S, that type of thing. It encourages better work habits. If people take a proactive and good viewpoint of housekeeping, tidy work area, tidy mind. If you have got a nice tidy work area with good housekeeping, it allows for good hazard identification as well. It's easier to spot hazards. All right. So by having good housekeeping in place, it does encourage better work habits. If it's clean and tidy, people generally want to keep it that way. And also it'll allow for people to identify risks and hazards easier, which again, if we identify and rectify them, it just allows for less near misses and a reduction in accidents and incidents. It reflects the image of a well-run operation. Obviously, if there's kit and equipment everywhere and it's a right mess, nothing's got a place, any visitors, customers that might come to the facility, they're going to have a look at things and sort of go, oh God, look at the state of this place. Do we really want to do business with this company? So good housekeeping reflects on the image of the company, and it reflects well. So good housekeeping program must include careful planning, a clean-up schedule or policy, that everybody signs up to and everybody's going to adhere to. Effective inspection, continuous enforcement of housekeeping rules. All right, it's no good just having a good housekeeping policy and then not enforcing it. You need to inspect your area for unnecessary tools, equipment, parts, materials and supplies. All items that are not needed, speak to the supervisors, speak to your management team and get them removed from your work area. Keep your work area and workspace tidy and adhere to good housekeeping practices. It reflects well on yourself and on your company. That's it on housekeeping then. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please drop me a like. Please subscribe to the channel. I try and get 2 videos out a week. What I try and do is do one Toolbox Talk video as well as one sort of general health and safety discussion video. But yeah, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way, any new uploads you will be informed of. And please check my other videos out, folks. If there is something you want me to cover, drop me a comment below. I always reply to comments. I'll try and do some discussions on whatever subjects you'd like me to talk about. But for now, remember, folks, safe by choice, not by chance. Until next time, take care for now. Bye.